When you think of Italy, certain images probably pop into your head, right? Ancient Rome, high fashion, maybe a perfect plate of pasta. But behind that beautiful postcard is a modern nation of really powerful contrasts. So today, we're going to pull back the curtain and look at the real Italy, a story that's way more complex and, frankly, more surprising than you might think. So that brings us to the central question. What does that famous Made in Italy label actually mean today? Because, as we're about to see, it represents a country of deep divisions, where incredible high-tech innovation is happening right alongside timeless, ancient traditions. Let's dive in. Okay, first up, we have to talk about the fundamental tension that really defines modern Italy. It's basically a tale of two distinct halves, a huge divide that becomes crystal clear when you look at something as basic as the quality of life across the country. A recent nationwide survey paints a really stark picture. On one side, you've got the thriving north. Milan takes the #1 spot for its booming economy and great services. But on the other side, there's the struggling south, the Mezzogiorno, where provinces are consistently at the bottom of the list, facing serious social and economic challenges. And this chart really shows you just how wide that gap has become. The survey found that while most provinces up in the center-north are considered good or acceptable places to live, in the entire south and its islands, only one single province, just one, actually makes the cut. But here's where it gets really interesting. A fascinating paradox. Milan, #1 for quality of life overall, is ranked 107th, dead last in the entire country when it comes to crime and safety. It's this incredible reminder that even in the most successful places, the reality on the ground is always more complicated. And look, it's not just our interpretation. The researchers who did the study put it pretty bluntly. They see a growing vulnerability in the South that stands in sharp contrast to the resilience of the North. This isn't just a gap, it's a divide that seems to be getting wider. All right, so let's switch gears and talk about the economy, because this same theme of duality of two different stories plays out here as well. What Italy makes and sells to the world really shows a nation standing at a major economic crossroads. So on one hand, you have Italy's traditional manufacturing powerhouse. I mean, it's a huge piece of their economy, but it's facing some serious headwinds right now. Sales are down, especially in old-school sectors like textiles, and it really needs a bigger boost in R&D. But at the same time, investment in machinery is still high, and the workforce is proving to be incredibly resilient. But while that engine might be sputtering a little, another one is absolutely roaring to life. Just look at this number, 20.7 billion euros. That's the value of Italy's certified food and wine sector. The high-end stuff with protected geographical status. This isn't just about food, it's a massive, high-value cultural export. And the growth here is just wow. The sector has exploded by 25% since just 2020. This is a huge part of where Italy's modern economic strength is coming from: quality, tradition, and that deep, deep connection to the land. And here's the real twist in the story. Remember the struggling South we were just talking about? Well, believe it or not, it's actually leading the entire nation in the growth of its creative and cultural economy, a 4.2% jump in value. It's such a powerful reminder that economic strength can pop up in the most unexpected places. This brings us right to culture. See this constant push and pull between the old and the new? It's not just in factories and on farms. It's actively reshaping tourism and the very idea of what la dolce vita, the sweet life, even means today. First off, the power of tradition is just absolute. And you don't have to look any further than the great annual Christmas debate over which cake is better, pandoro or panettone. But as you can see, it's a pretty friendly rivalry. Huge majorities of people love both. They're not just cakes, they're cultural touchstones that connect generations. But Italy isn't just preserving its old traditions, it's perfecting them for the modern world. The country is home to the #1 best spa on the entire planet, Lefay Resort, which blends ancient wellness ideas with totally cutting-edge luxury. Italy pretty much dominates the global spa rankings by mastering this exact blend. So that's the million-dollar question, isn't it? In a country that is so deeply, deeply rooted in its past, how do you make all that history and culture feel relevant and exciting to a young, digital native audience that pretty much lives online? Well, you do this. The northern region of Friuli-Venezia Giulia built a fully playable, totally explorable map of itself inside Fortnite. Yeah, the video game. Players can now wander through Trieste's grand squares or Udine's medieval streets, not in some boring brochure, but inside one of the biggest games on Earth. It's a brilliant, brilliant fusion of ancient heritage and the digital frontier. And that kind of fusion, that kind of thinking, brings us right to our next big point. Italy as a genuine high-tech innovator, pushing boundaries in ways that are probably going to surprise you. Seriously, forget any old stereotypes you might have of a country stuck in the past. Today, Italy is a European leader in building smart cities. It's in the top 5 in the EU, with cities like Bologna and Milan using tech to create cleaner, more efficient, and more sustainable places to live. But the innovation goes even further, literally into outer space. An Italian company has developed something that was long thought to be impossible, a propulsion system for satellites that uses zero fuel. I'm not kidding. It moves spacecraft with directed electromagnetic impulses. It's like something out of science fiction. And the implications here are an absolute game changer for space travel. Without heavy fuel tanks, satellites become way cheaper and lighter. Their missions can last almost indefinitely because they never run out of gas. And maybe most importantly, they can deorbit themselves when they're done, helping to solve that huge, growing problem of space junk. So, when you put all of these pieces together, the deep divides, the booming niche economies, the ancient traditions, and these futuristic innovations, what does it all mean? What kind of picture does this paint about where Italy is actually headed? What emerges is this picture of a nation that's truly defined by powerful, coexisting contrasts. It's a country where that north-south divide is very real, but so is the economic power of its specialty foods. It's a culture that absolutely treasures its past, while at the very same time, it's building its future in video games and in outer space. And that leaves us with one final thought. You know, we often look at these kinds of divides and see them as a weakness. But what if this duality, this ability to hold deep, ancient roots and a high-tech future in its hands at the very same time, what if that isn't a flaw? What if Italy's two souls are actually its greatest strength?